Okay, y'all. So this is part two of how I got laid off from my job and moved to Hawaii. So, all right, if y'all watched part one, in the end, I was saying that I went ahead, went out on a risk and applied to jobs in Hawaii. I got a call back, did the interview, and I got the job, which sounded too good to be true, to be completely honest. So I was like, oh my gosh, okay, but mind you, like I said in the part one, I was without a job from July, and finally, by the time I got this call back, it was like the end of October. So it took months still for me to get a job. So I still wasn't working any of that time. So I got this call back, did the interview, and the guy was like, "Yeah, so all we have to do is you just have to come here because if you're not here right now, you got to come. You got to do your TB test. You got to do all the paperwork." And I'm like, you know what? I looked at my savings and that thing was dwindling down because, mind you, it's been months of me not having a job. So didn't have that much money, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna use last little bit of money that I have left to go ahead and book this flight because I gotta go. I gotta go get this job. So I used the last little bit of my savings, booked the flight to Hawaii, and I got an Airbnb, which was crazy expensive, y'all. The Airbnbs out here are ridiculous. Anyway, so got an Airbnb for about a week, and started doing all my testing and all that. And I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I really was sitting in the Airbnb one day, and I was like, wow, I'm really in Hawaii right now and I just took this job. And I just was thinking, I was like, you know what? I was thanking God and I was like, because I like to say my prayers and things like that. I was just thanking God and I was like, well, you know what, God? I was thinking about it, even though I had traveled all this way, started doing the paperwork, started doing the TV test because it was like a 2 week test. So I had to actually get another week in Hawaii and everything. So I was like, you know what? Do I really want this job? Because the job is going to be high risk. Like with me being a therapist, it was going to be working in a very high risk, high risk population. So people that are going through a lot, it was going to be in person. I was going to have to drive, and everybody told me that the drive to where I needed to go, it was going to be so much traffic every day. And I just was kind of questioning if I want to do that. And I know that sounds very like, oh, beggars can't be choosers, girl. You haven't had a job for months. But I think that was what it was because I didn't have a job for months. I was like, well, I done made it this far. So let me at least get what I want, right? So I went ahead and changed my mind. And I told the company while I was there in Hawaii doing all this stuff, I was like, y'all, I am so sorry, but I don't think I'm going to take the job. And they were like, "Are you serious?" Like, I felt so bad. I honestly did. But I really thought about it and I was like, this isn't what I want. Like I want something that I want to work online actually. I really do. I want to work online. I really want to be somewhere where I can have a job. I can pick up and go wherever I want to, so that's what I want. And I was gonna go for it. So I told them, I'm so sorry. I sent the email, that was that. And I actually did focus on, now applying to online jobs specifically while I was in Hawaii, which is so crazy because I was like, oh my God, I just wasted all this money. Literally my last little bit of savings, y'all. I don't know what's wrong with me. So I was like, okay, at this point, I have to go home because I done depleted my everything that I had. So I was like, you know what? I called obviously my mom and I was like, Mom, please, mommy, help me. So of course my mom is gonna come save me like the superwoman that she is. So she was like, yeah, baby, come on home. So I'm like, all right. So I left Hawaii. I went back to Atlanta. All my stuff is still in California, mind you, still at my aunt's house. Like poor my auntie, y'all. God bless my family. I'm telling y'all. Had all my stuff just all over her house in her little office room. So, my family has really been helping me out. So to my mom's place, and I was able to just be settle in for a little bit. Thank God. So thank God for family. So I settled in. I started applying to these online jobs. So mind you, like I said, I got that offer at the end of October-ish. And so it took me finally got my associate number at the end of November. And I was like, oh yay, okay, I got this number. Now I can start applying for real associate jobs, like the online stuff that I want, like all that. So I got this associate number and I started to, look for jobs online. Luckily, I found this company that is strictly online and all my clients will be online and everything. And I was like, okay, so let me apply. I heard back from her within like 2 days. So I did that interview and she had like a smaller company because it wasn't that many therapists working there, her own practice, very sweet woman. And she gave me the job. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, I just was so happy. And when I say that I did this interview, mind you, because the time zones were off with Atlanta and California, I did this interview with this woman because it's the only time she had at it was like midnight or 1 a.m. Atlanta time because LA is like a few hours back or whatever. So crazy interview time. But like I said, I got the job, so it all worked out. So it's looking like I'm gonna have to do a part three. Okay, so tune in for part three, y'all.